Give me 1 second. I forgot to do something. Alrighty then. I'm gonna have to readjust this camera. How you doing, Di? So we want to turn this camera this way a little bit, don't we? Nope. We want to turn it this way a little bit. Better. Alright. Also, need to bring the camera down just a little bit, so you guys can see more than just my head. All right, you know what happened, Di? Not much, really. Not a very memorable trial. All right, let's summarize it a little bit. Phoenix Wright is the defendant. He's accused of murdering Shady Smith over a poker game. You remember that much so far? Yeah, it is a tutorial trial, you're right. So, yes, Phoenix Wright is accused of murdering Shady Smith over a poker game. We've done a lot of calculation. We did quite a bit of math in this trial, didn't we? So we kind of ended off trying to figure out who cheated in the last hand. Christoph Gavin is accusing Olga O'Reilly for cheating in the last game. Phoenix Wright, on the other hand, is accusing who? That's what we're about to find out. April 20th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again? And that's the thing, you see. She's quite fatigued. Is she really now? You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. In the ass. Sadly, fatigue is an insufficient grounds for refuse to testify or prosecute. If they're fatigued, you know, if you ever watch a trial they always have bottles of water with them to keep them from dehydrating. They always have water at a trial. And it's important because a lot of these trials will take hours at best. So they provide water for everybody in that courtroom. So yeah, he's right. Fatigue isn't insufficient grounds for refusal to testify or prosecute. When they supply water, yeah, they actually come there. They give them smaller bottles than this. Okay, I think they give them 12-ounce bottles. This is 16.9. Most of the courtrooms that I've seen on television would give them 12-ounce bottles. Okay. And they have a whole like cart of them right there at the courthouse, and they just supply the courtroom with water. And in some places, there is not a lot of air conditioning in some of the courthouses, so they do have to provide water. Even if it's a well air-conditioned room, they still provide water anyways, because dehydration can happen even in an air-conditioned environment. The defense would like to request that Miss O'Reilly take the stand. Very water. Very well. So the witness will take the stand. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession? Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. That is considered badgering the witness, which he would have been penalized for it. He's not allowed to actually insult the witness like that. Not. Name's Olga O'Reilly. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. She just performed a 180. She will perform it again. So we're going to see a 360 in no less, in a very less time. I can almost guarantee it. People call me Olga Quick Fingers O'Reilly. Oh. Oh, really? They had to put that in there. They had to. They really had to put that in there. Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian. And my last name sounds like, oh, really? But you already knew that, right, Di? There. That's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine. I'll talk. We had a plan. Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game as a witness. So you were in cahoots with the victim? Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning isn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend. The unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Mr. Wright's pocket before him, and then steal 5 cards during one of their games. See, she would know what backs were being played, okay? So that's why we know that she is not involved with cheating in the last hand, okay? But she's admitting that the plan was for her to cheat in the last hand. That's exactly what she's admitting to. However, as you can see, she did not cheat in the last hand because she would obviously use a card with the same backing. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and Wright. Called out and searched Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards! Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it. It would have made a great double play. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem like how it worked out. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed cheating would cause doubt on all his prior wins. 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. That was the plan. Oh really, oh really? How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake? I agree, the trap was elegant. Yeah, what happened to the planted card? Hey, that's right! He's lucky. I'll give him that. You'd have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Ogle Quickfingers O'Reilly. Oh, really? Seriously? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. To think the judge would be using such words like shtick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? Di, do you find her cute or no? I'm not cute. I'm bad. Hear me? Bad. Well, you're through being bad. Perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. Best laid traps. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. Where I lost the hand, the last hand. Just like he was supposed to. And Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. no good cheating defendant. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. Chap was perfect, I tell you, perfect. That rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking! Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? You've heard that saying before. Although a little different wording, right? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Mr. Phoenix Wright is a horse of a different color. Wouldn't you agree, Di? This planted card. Which card was it exactly? The trump card. The 5 of hearts. Good. Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least that's what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend. I slid it into Mr. Wright's pocket. When was this? Why, before the match, of course, while he was eating. At the Borscht Bowl Club, we served borscht and sucker. Wanted me never to go there. Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken. So, everything went according to plan? Exactly. The 5th ace came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hit. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud. There are worse things to be known as, I suppose. Tell us what happened with the search. The card disappeared? Interesting that the Buster Bunny bot over on Twitch failed. Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone without a trace. Poop! Zippo! We search every nook and cranny, even inside his cute little hat. But the card was nowhere to be found, is that correct? Never in my long storied career. Never had quick fingers really been so readily duped. Oh really? So, what did happen to the 5 of hearts? Don't look at me. Why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant? The 5 of hearts is still missing in action. Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Oh, that just now. I sense something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Miss O'Reilly, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? You! Me? Quick fingers? O'Reilly hiding something? The defendant will refrain from baseless accusations! I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Wright hit him with my own eyes. I saw it. You know what's going to happen, right, Di? You seen her little twitch? What's this weird vibe I'm getting? That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly, he would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. That's what Phoenix Wright said, didn't he? Did you notice? Her neck, was it? Whoa! What's going on? This is the new mechanic in the game. And this is the reason why I say this mechanic makes this game a lot easier than the other three. The sensation is coming into focus. There, that twitch, so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit, like I couldn't before.
Gotcha!
Miss O'Reilly, perhaps you're unaware of this yourself? Unaware of what? Whenever you get to the certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she touched the part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. Memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is hardly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us? Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her most of the moment of the crime? So really, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happen I notice it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this. You say it's the deadly bottle. We'll give it a try.
Take that!
Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of the moment than this bottle, the murder weapon? But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was sick, not you. This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits. They're completely irrelevant. Justice. Oh man, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later. Just try this. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in details about the moment of the crime. The very moment. I am knowing nothing. I told you about this 360 die. She performed a 360 now. Oh, hello Freya. Watching YouTube on Switch. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please. Now. Fine. He's the only one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there.
Hold it!
You seem uneasy. You try standing up here. Eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in daze at the table until the cops came. Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So, what do you think about her testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is... it's basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence. What's that? Well, show us this evidence, Mr. Justice. This evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony. You didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. The bottle again. We'll try it again.
Take that!
This, Your Honor, is the evidence that contradicts her testimony. Well, Mr. Payne? Who would have thought that justice could be wrong? He's the guilty one. Me? Mr. Justice, you might want to think before your future before doing that again. Okay. Ouch, that one hurt. Different personality, but the same testimony. I believe you have her where you want her, Justice. The circumstances have changed, yet her testimony has not. That means there's got to be a contradiction in there. Twice. Alright. So, we got 4 penalties against us. Oh wait, I worded that wrong. We have 1 penalty down, 4 left. So we are going to test this again because we need to. So the bottle is incorrect. So you're proving that her entire testimony is flawed because she's saying that she's never taken her eye off in Phoenix Wright. If you need Andy's assistance, you can ask him when he gets online. Oh, did you see? Jack says he doesn't like the upgrade. I mean, I don't blame him. It does look like his, like you're in like a prison. Victim's hand? Is that what he told you? Okay. Because I don't think the victim's hand's going to help you in this one. The simple fact is, we're trying to look for something that would have prevented her from keeping an eye on Phoenix Wright. Pro controller is going to need a alcohol wipe across it. We only had one testimony. This is still part of the first testimony. That's where we're at. So the latest statement says that she has kept her eye on Phoenix Wright the whole time. And we're saying it's flawed. No. Nope, the other bottle was not presented to us yet. He tried the bottle and that was wrong. He's asking if phone's the correct one. There is a player's guide you can look up.
Take that!
Miss O'Reilly, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made the phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bull Club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. The man who picked up the bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. Showdown time. You dirty cheat! Check his pockets now! Gone! The card's gone! You lose. Ugh. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Wright, and he hit me. The mess of cheating you have turned out to be. Eek! I came to. The victim was already dead? Is that it? That's why I turned to reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness! This is madness! I'm dreaming! Someone pinch me! It must have been me who was hit with a bottle. I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end. And frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin, sir? I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss O'Reilly a big fat liar. What? 3 were in that room the night of the murder. The defendant, victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement of the argument was murder. What? I didn't! I'm no killer! It's a trap! Someone's trying to frame me! What tangled webs we've weaved when we practice to deceive. So tangled, we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright! Such a hasty conclusion. Not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder? Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person. This theory again? Your 4th player doesn't exist! Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said. The 4th person who swapped the card made one crucial error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the back of the card. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? Cards used for the last game were red. Yet there is one person here in court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too. But why? Guys, do you know who he's insinuating? Can you take a guess who Phoenix Wright is talking about? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was? It's not me, I swear! Who is this fourth person? Why do I always get put on the spot like that? Let's hear who the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? You only have 5 choices, so this choice should be easy. We can eliminate 2 to make it even easier. J.D. Smith can be eliminated, and Phoenix Wright can be eliminated. Oh, really? Has not even mentioned which backings of the cards were. She never stated which ones were which in all of her testimony. Oh, they're right here. Christoph Gavin, Phoenix Wright, J.D. Smith, Vincent Payne. Oh, go really? You know all of them. Well, Payne doesn't even mention the colors because he says the color doesn't make a difference. Whether they were blue or red, the crime occurred anyways, which he's correct. But he did not go and say that the backings were blue during the last stand. Which leaves one person. He did state in the beginning of the trial that the last poker game were in a flame of blue. Those were his exact words, weren't they?
Take that!
As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Christoph Gavin, you were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the card. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look, you can see the colors in this photo. Yeah, but when he said the cars were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It is true the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that game, a game in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a twist of wits and silence, clash of passion. Only the cards, their bats, wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Well, Christoph? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing. Excuse me. Just so sudden. That's a big lie. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph. You know even I'd never take a joke this far. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim had never ever met. Well, what if they have? Huh? There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this true, Mr. Wright? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright?
Objection!
The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin! Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before the game of poker be related? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I expected, as I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly. Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. The judge has a point. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay.
Oh, and wrong comment.
What?
Anytime you court after crime that was committed, it's all in question.
Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along. And I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. Into justice? You would betray me? Your teacher? I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well. The defendant? Mr. Wright will take the stand, please. Appetite before murder. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. J.D. Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was out cold, knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead. Blood smearing from a cut on his forehead. When I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bull Club the night of the murder? I dined with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were playing this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial? The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice. Sir? He's lying. And you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at the sports school club quite frequently. We enjoy our usual dinner at our usual spot. As usual. Usual? I always eat at the table closest to the piano. See, where Mr. Smith was sitting. So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner? See. Reminisced of my meal with Christoph. We dined for 2 hours, and Christoph left. After that,
Hold it!
5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time? That would have been a faithful encounter too, to be sure. Oh, Mr. Wright. What was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Katie Smith may have met? I believe I did say that. Here I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear they just passed in the hall? That does seem a little weak as a pretense to murder. Oh, it would be, if that were all that really happened. Right? What are you hiding? What are you hiding this time? About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Mr. Overall really mentioned. The plan was simple, elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of... I was to plant a card in Mr. Wright's pocket before and deal 5 aces during one of their games. As soon as we revealed, Smith would call him out and search. We would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swat the cards! Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Yes, a harmless prank, in a sense. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? I happened to put my hand in my pocket, found a card. The card she planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was a 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed the cards before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of juice, grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the bottle inside. Threw the card inside the bottle. Empty bottle of grape juice? The murder weapon? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. Battle wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. Sounds like a terrific drama. Right inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Mr. Wright, the poker hand of courtroom number 3 approves of this bottle of whisk. Please revise your testimony with this new information. I discovered the traps during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. Before you press, I want to do something, okay? So, we want to examine this bottle. So, the bottle is completely empty. So the reason why we're doing that is so we check off some boxes, okay? There we go. Now, if you want to press it, you can have it pressed.
Hold it!
Why in the bottle? I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment, you see? I knew what was coming. Oh, you struck first? I like that. I know every trick in the book. They don't work on me. Please, when you get lucky and stick your hands in your pockets, they don't. You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at that time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured witness alone. And when you returned, the victim was already dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. Little? He was bleeding from his forehead after all. Guess I'd be startled too, if I walked in on a scene like that. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I'd obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair. I figured Christoph's law office would give me a friend rate for my defense. Glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Christoph. It was I who got you involved after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend, quite high. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Just, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him. Now. Yes, sir. That's the thing. What's Mr. Wright trying to tell me? This test. The truth has to be in there somewhere. Alright, which statement? And which piece of evidence?
Objection!
Mr. Wright, if I may, now you understand why I was examining the bottle. Because throughout this entire game, there's going to be a lot of times that you have to examine the evidence before you present them. So, which makes it a little bit different than the other 3 games. Yes? I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. No? What, Mr. Wright? Surely isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however... Huh? Perhaps a 5th person came and took it out. Oh, and a 6th person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, sir. I won't have any disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright drinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. Just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the knockout. Why do I get the feeling we're not on the same client? We're not on our client's side anymore. Okay, so now we gotta find another statement. Alright, what evidence are we going to be using? This one you might have to ask Andy for help. But I probably can take a guess in which piece of evidence is already there. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, this would not be what Phoenix Wright would come to. But as you can see, it is described exactly what's in that statement. But that's not the scene he would have saw. This would be the scene he would have saw.
Objection!
Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Just next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? Ah, I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put the hat on his head. Well, that explains where the hat came from. Eh? Yep. Put the hat on the head, on the hat on the dead man's head. He wore it throughout our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright. Just like in this photograph. And I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Well, why did you do that? All I can say is, I'm sorry. That's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So, this really didn't see it? It being the victim's his head? I think not. He was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey. Still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness testimony, more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone? Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Eh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. When I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. Reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That's that night. Recall that I spoke with Christoph with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded a conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of a trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard. You mean someone cracked the flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Bone china plate? A kind of porcelain. We're smooth and shiny. Very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club? Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see the bone china plate? Oh, that's right. Yeah. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. When I spotted Mr. Smith's head, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain to this court exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason? The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix, right? Order. I will have order. Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney Gavin's testimony? Well, as the prosecutor, Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. April 20th, 2:32 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Huh? What? Di, can you guess who this is? No name comes to you yet? Yeah, she's on the cover. You're right. You just don't know her name, do you? Hello, sir. Please, take a card. What's all this about? Is this one okay? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. Trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all. 8. Where do I remember this card from? Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating. I swear to you. The missing 5th ace. Wait. This block of red. Is this blood? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. This bloodstained card. My trump card for finding the truth. I fell deep into thought as my mind races to understand what this all meant. So, true. She gave Apollo the 5th ace that has not been approved by the police yet. From what you've learned from Rise from the Ashes, what does this evidence become? Do you know the answer? The evidence becomes illegal. If it's not approved by the state or by the police department, it's an illegal piece of evidence, okay? While Apollo can prove that it's relevant to the case, it still needs to be approved by the police. That girl. I've seen her recently. Where? That's when I made the connection. Well, the ace added to the court record. April 20th, 2:45 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Chris Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. The witness, state his name and occupation. Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret behind the victim's hat? The secret, I'm guessing, means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest.
Objection!
I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Okay, just to let you know, they changed his voice in this game. The voice clip that you hear will not be present until Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice. They're reflecting it towards those 2 games. That's the big change that they made to this. In the original game, it was the same voice actor that did the first 3 games. So now you've heard the modern Phoenix Wright voice. I was kind of upset that they made the change, but it kind of makes sense that they did make the change because I do like the original voice of Phoenix Wright. But I understand why they made the change. But what I don't like is the fact that they kept this change later in the game, and we'll talk about that later. And Mr. Wright, what do you think you're doing, Wright? Wow, they sure do look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off except for that one time. And one time being the instant he was hit. Oh! When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith Paul's head, you would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, I must be the real killer. Is that what you're trying to say? Not bad, Apollo. His demeanor is changed when he's over there in the defense side. Mr. Gavin, I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide it. Very well. Let me tell you the truth of what happened. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? That fateful night. The rage I sensed in that man, the night troubled me. So I returned to the club. Went down to the basement. Peeked in through the little window to the hideout. Must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head. An unconscious girl. Right. Holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, so I left. That's when the call came from Mr. Wright. So, you witnessed the murder? Better or worse, that's the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team? Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. What else can I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright? You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity, right, Apollo? Oh. That turn of the head looking at the player. When I first played it, I was like, oh, he's not talking to Apollo, he's talking to me. Do you get that sense of feeling when he looks at you like that? Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. Can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. Trial is getting weirder and weirder. Believe me, Apollo, this is not the only weird trial you'll be in. That man. You mean Mr. Smith? It was different from the other customers. Laura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player. It's more than that.
So then you knew the true nature of your client's job?
Of course. I also know he was engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, it makes sense that he'd know. They were friends after all. Worried for my friend, returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score. Let's see, what happened then? The little window. You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs? Yes, relic of the ancient past. The black marketers used it, I believe. Why did you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room? I didn't want to upset Wright. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes. What if my fears have been unfounded? I'd be walking in on their map. Bad form, to say the least. So far, everything he's saying makes sense. How do you know it was right after the murder? Really? No need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to the part of my testimony. Ah, there he is. The coolest defense in the West. We know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd change too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. With friends like these, who needs enemies? There it goes! There it goes! It's like 3 times Apollo's mentioned that! By phone, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene? Or by photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene? Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head. He was dead. Then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat?
Can you describe the scene of the crime for us?
Hold it!
Those were the only three at the scene of the crime? Yes, as far as I saw at least.
And we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police?
2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
Objection!
There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice. I just said I saw no one, not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. Ah, yes, this mysterious fourth person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose? Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us the reason why such a thing would be necessary? How can I show something I can't find myself? Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. The 5th ace. Right. Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason? We know the answer to this one, Di. It's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. Then go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace? You know the answer to this one, don't you? The victim's hand is not going to help us in this situation because it doesn't show us anything as to why the killer took the 5th ace. There's not going to be anything on page 1 that's going to really help you. the bloody ace, that's going to probably be helpful because that's the victim's blood. And if this card was on the table, how do you think he was killed? That would change the perspective of this entire case completely.
Take that!
My reason is, this. Is that an ace? Why? Why, it's got blood on it! Right next to the spade! What? His, demeanor has completely changed. Can't you tell? This is insane! Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Could this be? Could this be the missing fifth ace? Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card. It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock and trade after all.
Objection!
No. Impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. The question is, if he's not the real killer, how does he know that card exists? Why would he be upset about that card in possession in the courtroom if he wasn't the real killer? I think he completely destroyed this whole case for himself. Allow me to elaborate. What if the trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime. Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo and the victim's head. The moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trace of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood.
Objection!
Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible. Oh? Right. Regardless of how you wasted your last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer details of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence.
Objection!
This baseless conjecture. Baseless.
Objection!
Oh, I assure you it's quite base. Die misses this pose, don't you? Although, you remember it the other way around, don't you? What? It's amazing, really, how a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime in your head. Now, before I walk you through this, I want you to try to picture it yourself too, okay? Alright, they're going to walk you through it, but I also want you to picture it in your head on how this crime occurred. Okay, if you can picture it in your head before they walk you through it, then you're doing a good job, okay? The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped out a card, the only thing that's missing out of this diagram, which is not important, O really should be laying on the floor, right over here on the right side of this table. That's where she should be laying down. There was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, so they have the witness marked in that chair, but she was on the floor, unconscious, okay? Whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, or the second witness? Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? This is kind of a trick question. You're going to say the victim, okay? Explain to me why you think the victim is in the wrong position. You're trying to picture this in your head, then there must be a reason why you picked the victim. Because there's stuff behind him. Okay, so if we get this wrong, we lose. We get a penalty. Okay. So let's see what happens.
Take that!
Well, isn't it the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You'd think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. Ah! Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not on the card. See? You made a really good choice. And Your reason is different than his, but that's the correct reason that he's given. Blood would have been found on the floor if he was positioned the way he was positioned. Why, that's right. So, what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Office chairs. Apollo, try turning the chair around. Okay, so they want us to turn the chair around. The chair is facing the other way. It would have to be. So we have to assume that at the time of the crime, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. Mr. Wright returned from informing the police. Which way was the chair facing? When I came to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We now know the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Follow. Whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, or the second witnesses? The second witness. Whose location creates a contradiction in the victim? Assuming the K is Phoenix Wright, assuming the W is Olga O'Reilly, okay? So with that stating, whose position's in the wrong spot? This one you could probably see if Andy can give you the correct answer. So we're assuming this K is Phoenix Wright because he's labeled as the killer. If he's in the wrong spot, that still means that Phoenix Wright's the killer. The witness, Olga O'Reilly, if she's in the wrong spot, and it would prove that she's the killer. So we have to think about it logically that way. This number 2 here is Christoph Gavin. So that's how we have to look at it. You let me know what he says, Di. He says it's the killer.
Take that!
The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it'd be quite hard, yes.
Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of the game?
I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light.
What?
There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram. What? But there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike our victim? This should probably be easy to figure out. Nope. He can't. This would make it really too noticeable. Remember, you got to think about what everybody's been saying. Phoenix Wright, Ogo O'Reilly, and Shady Smith were the only ones seen in the room. So that would mean the killer had to be somewhere else. The clue is where the victim is facing. Think about it. Would this make sense? The fairy brain is cooking on this one, isn't it? The killer had to be standing, well, here.
You get points for flair, but that's about all you get.
Ugh, I thought I was onto something there too.
I only need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above, huh? It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime... Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard and the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Ah, Your Honor? What? There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong into the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here, which means, follow. Try moving the cupboard. So we're going to try to move the cupboard. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Now, everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact... Huh? Oh, dang! Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? Which indicator in this diagram contradicts what is seen here? Do you see it, Di? I do. Do you see the contradiction? I do. About this cupboard, are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. Ah! That's right. Someone staying outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What? What did you say? Oh! Is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was. While the window to the room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court. Exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order. This is a court of law and I will have order.
We just received word from our investigation team at the Borscht Bull Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh? And what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there is a secret passage behind it. What? Ah, yes, I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks of the room many of us regulars know about. I do remember saying something about that, now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops. Enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. You see where our line of simple deducting reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for this last scan. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked, and the victim's hat was only off his head for the few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder. Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin, come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith, a date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. Hey! What? Why did you do that? Wait, here. Oh. Miss Olga really was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. And our killer stepped out from the secret passage into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around and looked, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. A single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor?
The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion.
God!
Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Gavin. but I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately.
Objection!
Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoy my... It's not every day you get to witness a legendary turning dirty tactic. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber be taken in by such a low-grade harlot. The defendant is cleared of all suspicion? This is hardly a time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. Not just anyone else, but me. His own defense attorney. Illegal evidence?
Objection!
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle turned. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking? How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? Not just any fingerprint. Am I right, Mr. Payne?
Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were upside down.
I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court and this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down, and that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor? Ah! See how the caught fish squirms to the last? Well, Apollo? Yes? Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still, but I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation, just like that. Yeah, just like, what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than... Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation's the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words? It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions. Oh, Mr. Justice, Mr. Gavin said that the court and this case demand an explanation. Don't worry, justice won't leave until justice is done. Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain with the fingerprints on the bottle were upside down? This one should be very easy. There's nothing in the crime scene photo that's going to help you. Did you see it, Day? This one?
Take that!
It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place the bottle on the floor next to your chair. So we're going to use this bottle as an example. Okay, this bottle. If I were to place this on the floor, which part of the bottle am I grabbing first? You're grabbing it by the neck, right? Exactly. Excuse me? On the floor? Yes, now reach down and pick it up. Without getting out of your chair. Ah! See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down. Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano. Bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. Whoa, I can't believe it was that simple. Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. And then, you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano. And you switched the bottle. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Order, order, order! What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection? What? You claim that I switched the bottle? Where is your proof? Proof? Well, that's thought, or baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty.
Objection!
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Oh, yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottle from under the piano at the Fourth Bull Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What are you going to dust for prints too? I'd be surprised if any were on that but his. Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake, true. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? Why? Just humor. Mr. Wright. That bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. Alright, so the first thing we're going to look at is this. There's something inside the bottle. That's it. What's this? That card. Can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony from oh, really? Yeah, Devachka. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. And Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you dispose of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it that it was a 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might have happened, so I disposed of the card for the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. Five of hearts. This is the card. The bottle was swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney badge 7 years ago? My past is like my logic. Straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little day, right? I am not going to try to pronounce that correctly.
This is insane! What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anymore?
I believe this time we've finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin?
He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now.
I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he?
None that we're aware of.
Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. An odd profession to be sure. That's all we know about him.
I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor.
Good. Mr. Wright? Yes. 7 years. Still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with such significance to me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed 2 things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice could be tolerated. This courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright, Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Court is adjourned. August 20th, 4:28 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Thanks, Apollo. You came through, just like I thought you would. Pretty sure I didn't do a thing. It was you who cornered Mr. the Killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability? Ability? Yeah, a sensitivity I lack. You've come to understand it soon enough. Wait, what does he mean? I have one question for your witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim? Is this true? Of course it's true. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? What was that, Mr. Wright? You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself. Answer. Right. Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? You don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. Her daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. No, you were right about this locket. Hey? I took this off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury. You testified, you said that the locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? You merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then, why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the stranger's path to the truth isn't the best. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Maybe I have a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. Gavin led away in handcuffs. Follow. Yes? How about coming to work for me? Hey? You mean at the Wright & Co. law offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. Can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned my badge. Yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. Is that a surprise to you, Di? I bet you're like, wait, what happened? Phoenix is full of bombshells, isn't he? He's got so many surprises, doesn't he? That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial, there was a single piece of forged evidence? Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that's inconsistent. Not a magician's trick. One piece of evidence something is odd, it's true. It just seems, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the forged evidence. Do you know what it was, Di? This one should be pretty easy.
Take that!
You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place. Luckily for us, the court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? You would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. So this is the trick that Phoenix Wright used once before. If you remember in the recipe turnabout, I think it was called, something like that, where he was defending Maggie Bird when she was a waitress for the trades being. And he used a small medicine bottle and tried to pass it off as a bottle of cyanide. You remember that, Di? Thinking that the only person that wouldn't know that this was what the green bottle was. You remember that? And when Vera Tigra said it wasn't cyanide, it came in a brown glass bottle because there should have been no way he knew where the cyanide was. This card is the same trick, okay? This card is the same trick. Who would actually know about that card? Nobody else would know about that card. Hello, Norman Foxley. Welcome. So this is exactly the same trick from that case. Thank you for the raid over there on Twitch. And thank you for bringing in your 3 viewers. I appreciate the raid. What were you streaming? The crossover? Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright? No? One that's exclusive to mobile. Oh, the Layton Brothers. I think we'd done a stream of that one once before. How do you enjoy the game? Too casual. In my opinion, it's more closer to the Ace Attorney Investigation. Have you played the Miles Edgeworth game? Because we just finished Prosecutor's Gambit about 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, actually. Because oh, you just finished Prosecutor's Gambit too? My brother's in the other room. He says it's similar to Catriel, but he feels it's okay, better than Catriel. You moved to the 3DS version? You've already played Apollo Justice? Ah, okay. We're about to end this particular case here. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then, really? Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? You play them in order of release. I'm playing the Ace Attorney game in order based on the timeline, okay? So you know how the timeline goes. Because both of the Miles Edgeworth games, they are in the same year. They follow directly after Trials and Tribulation. So now that we're 7 years after Prosecutor's Gambit. I punched him. Get the switch port. All of that should be included in the switch port, the PS4 and 5 ports, the Xbox 360, Series X, S and X, and They re-released it on Steam. So all that should be included. You doubt? I don't know. I've never played the original Great Ace Attorney. The first time I played it is when it was first released on the Switch under the Great Ace Attorney collection. If I'm not mistaken, I think there was 5 cases for each of them. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I got the Switch port, which is the Great Ace Attorney collection. All I know is the last case ended Railway, I think is his name. I can't remember his name right now. Something like that. He went back on a ship, back to his home country, I guess. Oh no, wait, no, he stayed in England. Other people went on a boat back to their country. Then Resolve started. His assistant was an attorney starting Resolve. And then we go back to him. I can't remember his name right now. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office is addressed. Stop in if you like. Right. Oh, about your uppercut? Try yelling, "Take that!" next time. I find it packs a little bit more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out of the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved, and at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins. Okay. Norman, please say hi to our fairy friend, Dayusi. She is portraying the fairy attorney for these games. So she's providing, she's the one that's trying to answer these as if she was actually playing it with me at the wheel. I see. I don't know. I didn't really play the because they do have extra sections into the Great Ace Attorney. They do have a lot of those extra sections. Um, the Asinine Attorney for this one is missing for Dual Destinies. I see. I his name, Ouchie, is very, very unique. Ouchie. It sounds like pain, doesn't it, Di? Ouchie. Pain. All right, what do you think so far, Di? Starting out. You liked it, huh? All right. Norman, if you enjoy this channel, we stream pretty much every day. Tomorrow, my brother's going to end up hosting it. We're going to be doing, or they're going to be doing, Great Ace Attorney. Or not Great Ace Attorney. Grocery Store Simulator. Only two different games. We were talking about Great Ace Attorney, and that's the first one that comes out of my mouth. We're going to do Grocery Store Simulator. Yeah, they are. I will be doing Da Hack on Wednesday. Thursday, there's going to be football for the Fantasy Football League. And at night, hopefully, probably not this week, usually Tara will be doing The Sims 2. Friday is going to be more Fantasy Football League. And then The Sims 3 at night, hosted by Tara. On the weekend, more PFL. And my brother's going to take both the Sundays, or both Saturday and Sunday. That's basically our entire week. So if you're interested, it doesn't matter. We also have a, I guess you can call it a sponsorship. Poggers. There is a link that is dropped in. Might be also in the description. I don't know if I got in every description, but it's probably in the description as well. Take a look at the link. That'll automatically give you 10% off on everything that's there. Okay. All right. That's gonna be it. Yeah, Poggers. There are energy drink mixes. You get tumblers, shakers. There are sleep aid drinks, mixes. About everything you can think of. I guess there's stickers too that's on there as well if you want a Poggers themed sticker. But I try to say, it says buy the shaker. You can put anything into it with mixes, pick it up. Family and friends should definitely take it. I can't say that it holds hot drinks into it, but definitely cold and warm drinks. It's all up to you. Of course, we do have a YouTube channel. We were on Kick, which is my brother's channel, but we've had a whole bunch of complications trying to keep streams running and everything like that, so we're dropping it. Plus, there's not a lot of people on Kick to actually support the channel enough. Despite the fact there's 202 followers, which I think 100 of those is bots. Tells you how bad Kick is. But yeah, we have YouTube. You can always come on YouTube. You can be a member on YouTube. All of these are optional anyways. I don't ask for them, but they're open in case you want. The more memberships we have, I can add more emojis. Yeah. We do Monday. We're doing mostly Ace Attorney. When we finish the game, I usually take a break to give my voice a rest because I've been voice acting all of the characters in the game. Tuesday is whatever my brother wants to stream. It's been a group collaboration stream on Tuesday where they were doing Grocery Store Simulator for the last 14 weeks. Wednesday, I've been doing .hack for about a year because I'm on the 4th part quarantine right now, in the middle of quarantine, which I will move into CU right afterwards. So I'm still doing .hack, so that's a long process. We're getting close to the end of the Sims season, which usually it starts in September and it will end right around in June. So we got a couple more months left. We're hoping to get The Sims 2 back up and running because we had it running on a disk. We're running on Windows 11 and it doesn't run anymore because Windows 11 dropped the support, so we're waiting to save a little bit of money to get the Steam port or the EA port, whichever comes first. Anyways, yes, that's basically what we're doing. We do have a Discord if you want to join Discord. If you're interested in the football league, we do have sign-ups. I just made a post on the YouTube channel that I have the opening to get people to join and sign up, pick a team that they want to own for the season, and it'll stay open until week 6, which is when the trade ends. That means you can't trade with other teams, your players with other teams to get better players after week 6. So if you're interested in that, join the Discord server and we'll work something out. Alright. In the meantime, I myself won't be going on a raid. I have to get a battery for my laptop because it would be easier if I did it right off my laptop and get set up the raid and stuff, but I don't have battery for that laptop, so I can't move it into this room. Alright. Any questions before I end stream tonight? We may turn off everything dealing with tech, because we're probably going to completely end that channel. I did think about doing daily motion, but I'm still working on that. I need to talk to people that uses daily motion and see what it's actually like and stuff like that. I was going to start it for this year, but I held back. But with all the complications that we're having with streaming on a streaming software that doesn't like to stay up and running at the time, I held back on it. Okay, no questions from our fairy. Anyways, well, that'll be it for me for tonight. You guys all have a wonderful night. Take care.